very warm welcome to the Queen of Behaviours, Vicky O'Farrell.
Sorry, I had to do that. Like that intro just said, do we all hear Simon this morning? Yeah? Yes. And we all know that it's not about the epic story, but it is about telling stories. And the thing is, the only person that knows that story is you, because it's your story. And connecting to what you said about authenticity, if you try telling someone else's story, you'll know. So you've got to tell your stories. But how do you get into character? Well, you just reenact the story. And you can do that in several different ways. So I think of the time when I was in Ireland with my husband, and all I wanted to do when I was in Ireland is I wanted to see a diddly diddly band in a diddly diddly bar. And I didn't want to do that. And that's all I wanted to do. We went over, we went down the west coast, and we went into the cliffs of Moher, and then we got to Galway. And when I was in Galway, I didn't just see a diddly diddly band. I was freaking in the diddly diddly band, because I sat at the diddly diddly band table and they all came in either side of me, diddly diddly band in a way, and I just sat, and my husband's got a picture of me looking like a kid in a saucepan. I'm in the diddly diddly band! Or you could, go over to Wyman, up to the northeast, Geordie Shores, Vicky Patterson, I follow her, I'll just copy her voice. I'm not going to do Brummy because you always take the mickey out of me. And that is the thing. So I love doing accents because I just love mimicking people. But accents you can take people there. But do practice them. And I practice them because I've either been there, and my surname is O'Farrell, so I love a diddly diddly band in a diddly bar. Or, like I say, I follow Vicky Patterson, so I do a lot of Geordie. I do actually also try and do other accents. And is Edme in here, actually? She's not, is she? So Edme, who is the Vice President for London, when she's talking to Stephen, the Regional President for London, it goes something like this. Or Stephen! And I'm like, that's Ivor the frickin' engine, isn't it? And she is not Ivor the frickin' engine. So practice it, and if it doesn't work, don't do it. So how else can you do it? Well, I'll do another quick story of taking you, hopefully, there. I went sailing this year with my husband. And we wanted to go into this cave that was famous for where they kept submarine, or had a submarine, not submarines, one. And our skipper said, right, if we're going, we've got to go really early before breakfast because it gets really crowded. So we did. We got up early in the morning, untethered ourselves from all the boats, and off we went. There'd been a major storm the day before, so the sea was like a mill pond. And we got to this cave, beautiful ice blue. Skipper Lou said, go. So off we went. Me and my husband had come up, and we'd gone swimming, and we'd got into the cave, and I thought to myself, oh, hold on a minute, I've got my mask, and as I wear goggles, I'd actually got a +2 mask. I thought, put that on. So I'm trying to, I'm treading water this time because it's really deep in there, and I've like ping, ding, oh, I've pinged the side off it, and I'm like, oh, all right, okay, and I've swept myself in the eye. So my husband is on the beach because at the end of the cave there's a little beach, and he's there on the beach. And I'm just like, okay, fine, I'm swimming. Now, at the corner of my eye, I catch a ripple on the top of the water. And what I'd learnt in the last couple of days of sailing is if you catch a ripple on the top of the water, it means one of two things. Number one, there is wind. And when you're sailing, you want to up the sails and get in the wind, because that's what you're there for. Number two, it means there's something in the sea that you probably want to avoid. So I'm in a cave, and I'm thinking, I'm in a cave. There's no wind. So where do I go? Oh, good. Shark! A monster! And I'm in the cave, and my husband, oh my God! Oh, 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 oh. And I've got this, and I've got the beat. Oh, they're all going to shit. And my husband's just looked at me and went, what the? And I went, shark and monster in the water. What? Mask broken. And he's just like, oh, Jesus Christ, woman. Calm down. Fix my mask. Put my mask on. And he was just like, it'll probably just be a rock. I went, no, there's something in there. So I got back just, to enough level. Mask on. And I've gone in. Yeah, it's a rock, love. Well done. Yeah. Sheer face with a tiny little bit at the top that was breaking it. Anyway, we left, and as we were leaving, all the other boats were coming in. And that's why I thought my skipper had taken us there early. So that's how you can take people. You can do accents by taking them on a journey. You can reenact the story. Because whose story is it?
Yours.
It's your story. Nobody else knows. And that's a true story because hopefully I was authentic.
Very much so.
Yes. But I want to put it out to you now to ask me questions about what stories you've got. And by the way, if you don't think you've got any stories, can I suggest you go and find Rachel Maunder, the storytelling coach? Because we've all got stories in us that make our message stick. Now, I mean, talk about behaviours, and that was a bit of a weird behaviour I did there. I'm not quite sure it's a lesson in there, but it was more about the storytelling. So what are your stories that you're thinking, I don't know how to make it come alive? Over to you. Oh, look at that straight away, Daniel.
It's not about my story. I wanted to know about yours, actually, because I've seen you do this before when you're in your car and all that. And I saw a one-man show recently, and they were playing lots of characters, and the accents were there, but there was something to do with where they stood on stage when they did different acts, and the embodiment of the person.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're doing characters, what's going through your head as to bring that alive, not just the accent, but the sort of the body and the positioning?
So if I take that into two bits, so when I do an accent, if I'm going to do, so to me, straight away, if I'm going to go up to the northeast, I'm pointing the wrong way, aren't I, for you, because you're all looking that way to the northeast, aren't I? Straight away, I'm like, oh, why, I, Vicky Patterson. You know, I get something that will take me to that accent. But actually on stage, I just live it. I just kind of think to myself straight away, you know, and it's practice. I thought to myself, I want to tell that story, but I need to reenact it. Does it matter where I am? I'm looking at the shape of the room and I'm thinking I want to stand here, but that light is so bright, it is really giving me a flush. So I'm trying to stand over here underneath the air conditioning instead. It's a woman of a certain age. My fan is in there, but it says fuck off, so I'm not going to put it out. If any of you saw my sketch last year, I brought that one with me, which is wrong. So it's about just reenacting it and being in what works for the audience. Because if I told all my stories over here, you're all straining your neck as well. So I want to capture the audience. I want to go, who's looking?
So you kind of build a stage in your mind for where that story is going to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I started at the cave, dived in, swam over to the shore, and then I was on the beach. Yeah. Yes, lady there.
Yeah, I have my stories, but I really lack, due to a previous career, I lack any kind of expression, whether in my bodily gestures or facial expressions or even voice. And anything, I have good stories, but when I tell them, it's like a non-story.
Okay.
And because otherwise it feels inauthentic, I feel inauthentic to myself. Sorry, Dave, I know you don't like that word. I just don't know how to bridge it, how to preserve that authenticity and tell a good story, but to make a story, from the story rather than just it comes out flat because of my lack of expression in every possible sense.
Well, I wouldn't say it's your lack of expression. It could be something to do with your lack of self-belief, if you're saying about the career before. But what you've got to do is your story is to find the characters within that story that you know that you can do. And then practice and practice. And I know a lot of people go, oh, cringy. Film yourself and watch it. Honestly, once you do it, do you do social media? Put things on stories with video, but get used to seeing yourself on video. I hated it when I first did it, but it is such a good way to learn. I notice, and I'm going to do it right now, how many times I do that with my glasses. Yeah, but I could stand here and do a presentation without my glasses, but then I don't actually know how I'm making eye contact because I haven't got glasses on. So I have to do that. But video yourself and watch it and watch it and watch it. You will then get so used to it. And that is how you think, oh, hold on a minute, I could just do this little bit. I could tweak that. They're your stories, they're your characters. You know how they sounded. Yeah? Does that make sense? That help?
No, yeah.
Okay.
I can pick up on what's meaning.
Good. Or connect with me. I'm more than happy to talk more. Mark.
Yeah, I tell a story which years ago where I was going into a lodge type place in America where the owner takes me to a room with a mouse and then a room with a gas. Now the owner is Japanese American, and when I used to tell the story, I used to put on a Japanese American accent. But then now I think actually is that too risky? Are there certain accents where you can't do because of the fact that there's a danger of other people being offended, and that's what's put me off doing that accent?
There is a danger of people being offended if it's not right as the accent. But if the accent is right, you're in character. So I personally, I mean, I'll open up to the room, I wouldn't be offended, you know, if there was somebody who wasn't British doing a British accent because they were doing a British person, as long as it was a good British accent. So I think as long as you've got it on point and it's part of your story, don't be scared, because it's also what will make your story stick. Yeah. And again, if you know, practice it, record it, and ask other people what they think. Yeah? Does that help? Yeah. Do it. Good. MMP.
It's not necessarily a question, but more of an observation. And I think I've seen you grow massively. What you just
sorry.
There, what I've seen there, Vicky, is just this massive confidence and that ability to say, I don't care what anyone thinks. And you just delivered, and that was beautiful to see.
Oh, thank you. That was really lovely to hear. But that has come from being part of this PSA, you know, and actually not wanting to get on stage for fear of judgment, because I always thought, oh, well, hold on, and somebody, you know, I mean, we are, you know, not us as PSA, but we are great armchair critics, aren't we? And then I thought, you know, I just put myself out there. And I have. And as Dave was saying, being authentic. This is me, it's who I am, you know. Thank you. Thank you. Got time for another one? Another. Did you have a question? Yeah.
Just one more question, I think.
Yeah, okay, one more question.
So I want to
Okay, it's not really a question. The story that I tell in schools and colleges is when I was raped in a downstairs toilet in a lad culture way, and how I froze and how traumatic that was for me, and then how the guy went out bragging straight away to his friends. I don't know how that comes across, I don't know how I deliver it, but obviously I want people to feel how traumatic that is. But I don't know, I just thought I'd see
Yeah.
if there's any tips or...
So firstly, I'm sorry that you had that experience in your life. I really am. But actually, thank you, well done for sharing it so that others can learn from it, because that's something traumatic for you to have to constantly deliver. I think you obviously you don't want to reenact a rape, but you can take people into the damp, dark toilet, and you can take people into the situation without actually having to give them, because we've got imaginations, we know what's going on. So you need to create the environment for everyone to get in and think, oh God, I can smell the urine, it's horrible. You know, do that, tell your bit of the story, and then come out of it. Does that help? Yeah. Okay. Right, I think that's the end of time.
We are at time, Vic. We are. Thank you so much. Can we give another? Have you got your card already? You got one? Oh, yeah. Thank you.
It was on the seat.
Thank
you, darling.
Thank you.